Okay, we are back. It's your boy Sosa Picks, joined by my brother Prop God.
Yes,
Another edition
indeed.
of Daily Bread. You already know what's the deal, my brother. It's a wonderful day to to just enjoy the ambiance of sports. And
Yeah, man. Um, been a pretty chill day for me, so thought it was perfect to come chop it up. A lot going on across both of the major sports we got now. Of course, NFL is over. MLB season, I could sniff it now. So just dropped my first MLB bet of the year, so I'm ready.
absolutely, dog. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. I'm depressed. I'm very, very fucking sad right now. I'm
As
one
a
of the
Sixer
sad,
fan, I'm
I'm
sure.
one of the saddest dudes in America at the moment. It's RIP to the season. It's over with. Um, but hey, the thing is, the season goes on, and there are teams that are relevant that are still actually good, and we can talk about them. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That's why we're here. We're trying to get some thoughts off of our chest, some of our opinions and such. First and foremost, all I'm seeing all over the internet is nobody trusts the Oklahoma City Thunder. Nobody believes in the Oklahoma City Thunder, right?
Mm-hmm.
I keep hearing about LeBron and Luca. I keep hearing about Joker. I keep hearing about the Rockets making a run. For some reason, somebody doesn't believe, nobody believes for that matter, that the Oklahoma City Thunder are really the show, right? Is the West as wide open as we think it is, or is this Oklahoma City team going to dominate when it comes to playoff time? What are your thoughts? I'll share mine, but we'll start with you.
Well, I think two things can be true. OKC, I do look at them as a serious title contender, but that doesn't mean that the West isn't wide open. I think you can make an argument for about three, maybe four teams in the West that can win it all. Of course, OKC is the one seed. I think they got the playoff experience under their belt last season, so I think here in the next year of a run where they pretty much sustained regular season success for two straight years now. I think they are definitely capable of winning the championship. They defend well. They're able to score. You got Shea who can go get a bucket at any time, which is great for a playoff scenario. A great ISO score, the best ISO score in the league right now. Um, so yeah, they definitely could win the championship, but that doesn't mean that the West isn't wide open. I do still respect the Nuggets, but after the showing we saw yesterday with that defense, man, I don't know. It can get a little tricky with Denver. I do have some belief in the Clippers as well. Um, I would say those are my three top teams in the West. I know Memphis has the second best record, but I think they need like one more piece for a championship run.
Rockets,
Oh, I
Rockets,
forgot about the Rockets. I don't think they're
Rock-
ready for a championship run either, though.
Rockets.
Maybe it's because
Ime,
they're young, though. I can't. We can, I think that's what it
Ime,
is.
Ime Udoka, bro. I'm of the belief that right now there aren't five better basketball minds on the planet than Ime
Okay.
Udoka. I think Ime Udoka, first year off the porch, what did he do? Get to the finals with a team that Brad Stevens couldn't get to the finals with, right?
Yeah, that's a fact.
Right. Lost to Steph Curry and them, right? Obviously, unfortunate circumstances took place in Boston. Lost his job. Bro, I could argue that the Ime Udoka signing is as big as any free agent signing as a player in the last 2 years. I think that's a definitive argument.
Tough.
Like what he's done for that basketball team is equivalent to any player we saw get picked up by any NBA team in the last 2 years because he's sustained a culture and changed it in a year. It's
Yeah,
kind of
it's been a real quick turnaround. Yeah, that's true.
right with no superstar, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pretty phenomenal shit. I just want
They
to
give
make
them
sure I
that.
put that up because I think people are talking about the. I think people are talking about the are talking about a lot of other teams. And they're kind of like OKC because they're a young team. They're kind of upstart. Nobody
Mm-hmm.
kind of thinks that they're this, they're that. But they just keep winning and they just keep sustaining good play. So for me personally, I think that's a team that I'm looking at that I think people aren't really looking at. They got reinforcements back. They got Jabari Smith back. He looks
Yep.
good. He looks healthy. He's a good two-way player. another player to add to the mix. And obviously, we're not going to believe in them because they don't have any superstars or anybody that we brand a superstar. So, yeah, that's just my outlook or my thought process. Everybody talking about Memphis. Everybody's talking about Denver. Some people are talking about the Lakers. We like the Clippers. But I think the Rockets are going to be a lot tougher out than people think.
Yeah, I think the playoffs are where, superstars are made. So if Jalen Green's already taking that next step this season, but if he can put together a great performance in the playoffs setting, I think then we'll have him in those discussions moving forward.
For sure.
On another note, we got two teammates I want to talk about. So we know Russell Westbrook has the all-time record for triple doubles in the season. But we seen the video over the break of Joker telling him that he was going to break his record, and pretty much Russell's going to have to be there to watch him do it since they're teammates now. I thought that was a fire look combo. And we seeing Joker getting triple doubles in 3 quarters now. Even after they just lost at Lakers, he had a triple double in 3 quarters again. So, do you think that he can break that record this season? And if he does that make him a lock for the MVP again, or are you still giving it to Shea right now?
Shea's my MVP. Jokic's the real MVP, though. You look at the roster, you look at the team, you take him away, they're a lottery team. I hate to say it like that. You take him away, he's not just the fulcrum, he's the engine. And I think that his usage and the way how good he is, bro, is just like it's become boring. It's become
voters fatigue.
Something just normal. Yeah, we did it. Obviously, they did it with LeBron, where it was like his numbers were so good that we just had to start considering other people because they put their team in contention. You know what I mean?
Yep. So
for me, Shea's my MVP. I mean, the 30-point games, the consistency scoring, the fact that he plays for OKC. But I think that something that will hurt him at the end of the year is that they're going to look back and they're going to say he had an all-star teammate.
Oh yeah, J-Dub.
And I think that ultimately, I think Joker will win it. Shea's my MVP, but Joker's going to win it, bro. You can't really, bro. The numbers are just absolutely insane.
Yeah, it was crazy. I know we had a conversation off cam, probably about a month or two ago. The fact that Joker's gotten better, which is crazy. You would think like a guy like him would max out or just stay at the same level, but he's able to continue to raise his level this season. And I feel like he's scoring more because he has to, even though he didn't really try to score against the Lakers the other day. But I think that's the thing with him. It's like he knows what the Nuggets need for that night, and he can get it done for the most part. And I think that's what makes him successful. Like you said, he's the engine. He's everything for Denver. So I'm not mad at him winning MVP, but I do think this will be the year that Shea gets it. Because OKC came in with high expectations and they matched him, surpassed him. Number 1 seed. Shea's elevated his game. He's not able to knock down shots on the perimeter now too, as well as get to the rim at will. And he's gonna knock down his free throws. So, with him becoming a 3-level scorer consistently, I think he still can grow in that aspect too over the years. But I think he's taking his game to the next level this season, and being a 1 seed, raising his level, and OKC exceeding expectations, I think that's enough to win MVP.
Yeah, we should do like a friendly wager. I think Jokic wins it. I just think like, bro, like they're still trying to figure out how Embiid beat them. So,
that's true.
I'm still, as a Sixer fan, I'm still like, I'm glad he got something. He left with something. Good Lord.
Yeah. Won't get no rings, so you're right.
Fact. That's a fact. But, I don't want to dull the MVP conversation. It's a 2-man race. It's not going to change barring injury for the rest of the season. We know who the two players are. Love Giannis. He's out the running.
Yeah.
We could talk about, we know he's great. Is that you?
What do you hear?
Someone is watching don't worry about it.
Oh, is it me?
No. It's on. It was on my computer. But no, I really not. Obviously we know that you guys, right? I just brought up Giannis. Yeah, you trade away Chris Middleton, and then immediately
Mm-hmm.
Bobby Portis gets suspended for 25 games for taking a low level painkiller that was not prescribed to him. Obviously, the story looks bad. It's a very unfortunate series of events for one Bobby Portis. You add Kuzma, you got rid of Middleton. Bucks better. Are you liking what you're seeing? It's been a couple of games. Obviously, you're not getting Bobby back. So, what's
Well,
the
we'll get him back for the playoffs. He'll come back. Well, I think it'll be like
3
two,
games?
2 or
3
3
games
games
left.
left in the season. So, yeah, honestly, I feel like we got better because we got players. I saw a stat yesterday was like, the Bucks made winning moves at the deadline because they got 2 players who are not good as far as analytics, but they are great for what the Bucks need. You add Kuzma right now with Middleton, we didn't need 25 points a game, right? Kuzma can give us everything that Middleton can right now. Kuzma can give us 15 to 18 points a night, even in the playoff series. He can rebound the ball probably at a higher level right now than Middleton has. He's already been doing that. And he can facilitate a little bit. Now, of course, Middleton is a better facilitator, but we don't need Kuzma for that. We got Dame and Giannis for that. And then KPJ, I think he'll carve out that role as the backup point guard. I think he'll have minutes. I think it will come a time where he's probably running with Dame, so Dame could focus on scoring maybe a bit more. And KPJ can facilitate with the offense with Dame and Giannis. That's something I want to see how that goes. Giannis has only played 2 games with him. I don't know if you saw it, but Giannis had very high praise for Kevin
Oh,
Porter
he
Jr.
loves KPJ.
Yeah,
I was like,
and that goes a long
he,
way.
he just kept saying he's nice. He's
Yeah,
nice.
but me and you
Yeah,
talked about it when he went to the Clippers. Me and you were happy, so
absolutely.
I had no.
He got a raw deal, obviously getting kicked out the league and having to
Yeah.
go to Greece to play. We don't talk about those things on
Oh yeah.
on public forums. But it happens. Hopefully he took it as a learning experience. He's only 24, so he's got a ton of upside as a player. He also another reason why it's easy to trust him is that he's been productive in the league.
Yes, at a pretty good level too.
Facts.
So I think,
so it's easy to trust him.
Yeah, I think it's only been a couple games, but as he gets more familiar with the system, I think he'll play more minutes and he'll be able to produce. I mean, he's getting about 12 points a night right now, which is great for us coming off the bench already. But his ability to facilitate and rebound, I think, helps us too. So we got 2 players who are capable. With Kuzma, who I can kind of comp to Middleton right now, but Kuzma's younger. And Kuzma will be there for us. He's going to play more games. So for right now, as much as I kind of disliked Kuzma before he got there, it's a great move to me because we got rid of that max contract. We'll see what happens with Bobby. I don't know if we'll pay him after this season because the Bucks have to try to get younger. But we did that. We're getting KPJ and Kuzma. And I think those are 2 guys who are going to stick around in Milwaukee. Then we'll see what happens with Dame too. So actually, I feel good. I don't trust Doc Rivers. That's like the main problem for me. So we'll see what happens. We haven't had Giannis healthy for a postseason run in about 3 years. I want to say since we won the finals, he hasn't been healthy in the postseason. So
you're absolutely right.
Me as a fan of the team, I can't just say, oh, so and so is better than us and blah blah blah. I know we lost playoff series, but if the team was 100%, like especially with it being Giannis, I could get if he was there and maybe Middleton was out or Dane was out or something. We lost, cool. But with no Giannis at all for the postseason last year, competitive with the Pacers. The year before that, the loss to Miami, he got hurt in the series. We haven't seen him at 100% in the playoffs, so I'm still confident until I see them go out on a sword with Giannis at 100%. Now, of course, I still respect Boston at the highest level, and I definitely respect Cleveland too. But as far as the Bucks, I do feel like we'll be fine. I think we'll finish as the 3rd seed in the East behind. I'm sorry, the 4th. I'll say the 4th seed behind the. I think the Cavs will win the East, Celtics 2, Knicks 3, and the Bucks will be at that 4th spot.
Oh, I know how fond you are of the Knicks.
Oh man,
I know you're fond.
Amazing team.
Orange and blue skies and such.
Right. Sure.
I mean, that's I heard it's a thing. Anyway,
We just spoke about the Greek Freak, right? I want to talk about an alien out west. Victor Wembanyama. Prayers up to him. Got some blood clot issues. They said he should make a good recovery, a speedy recovery, and be ready for next season. But what does this injury change for the Spurs this season to you? Or did you have high hopes anyway?
I ain't gonna lie, bro. That shit fucked me up, bro.
Yeah, it was tough. I couldn't believe
it. You remember when you were on stream? I'm not gonna lie, bro. I low-key wanted to cry.
Yeah, it sucks, especially being that young, man.
Because it's like, how could you not like him? He was at the All-Star break just going hard, dog. Just like running the floor, like he plays with joy. You know what I mean? It's just like he is a kid and he plays like a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Now his game is grown man, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean? He goes out there, plays free, and you could tell he enjoys and loves the game. I'm praying for a healthy recovery. Obviously, we saw Brandon Ingram have this same issue, and he's made a full recovery. And you know, obviously the concerns are that he's a little bit young. You know what I mean? It's kind of a tough situation to have to deal with at such a young age. As far as this season, if I were the San Antonio Spurs, I would pack it the fuck up. I would pack it the fuck up. Yes, I just quit. Shut it down. Go get you the best player you possibly can to put next to Wemby. You just got your other franchise cornerstone with Fox. You're going to have to max him out. Wemby's your other max player. Now it's about building around those two players and getting the best talent you possibly can. It looks like you hit a absolute grand slam with Stephon Castle. He's going to be a really good two-way guard. Yep. And, you know, you trust that San Antonio is going to be able to develop players, which is what they've been able to do forever. They've always been able to just develop players. And so that's the expectation here now. I think they should pack it up and try to lose, try to get a top 4 or 5 pick and pair, you know, go get Dylan Harper. Go get Ace Bailey. Can you imagine Ace Bailey next? All right, let me chill.
That shit would be cheating.
Let me chill. Imagine Cooper Flagg. All right. Let me chill. That'd be fucking insane. That'd be crazy. But obviously, with the Spurs, we just found out also that the coach is out for the season. He's not coming back. Pop's not coming back. Again, there's no reason for them to go out here and try to make the playoffs. No point whatsoever. Right. You know what I mean? And when it comes to the playoffs, there are actually teams that are going to make the playoffs, right? There are actually eight teams after a plan that are going to make the playoffs, right? In your opinion, what team is under the most pressure to make the playoffs, to really get in there and make some noise? Because
the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Oh, okay.
Sitting right now.
Okay.
They're the 7th seed out west, so that you're in play-in territory, right? You went and made the move. You got rid of Cat. You get the keys to Ant, and I get it for monetary reasons because they paid Gobert. I know Randall and DiVincenzo have been out for a couple weeks now, but they can't miss the playoffs. I think that'll be crazy after making that trade. But seeing them make the play-in will be tough to me too. It's a step back from what we saw last season. Now, I know they started off the season a little rocky, then played well, then boom, Randall goes out. So I think I think Randall and DiVincenzo should be back within the next week. I'm looking at Minnesota pretty closely to see how they end the season, and if they can avoid being in that play-in spot, get a 5 or 6 spot out west. So yeah, I think they had the most pressure to turn it around just because of the trade that they made.
Yeah. For me, bro, it's the Sixers. The Sixers have to make a definitive decision because if we suck the rest of the year, then it's trouble season. We're not going to get our pick. Embiid looks like he's headed he's headed to the doldrums again. But I think the team that, to me, I just felt like fitting the Sixers in here, bro. We stink, so I have to find ways to fit them in the conversation.
I'm like, I got no hope for them anyway. But
like, why the fuck you bring them up for? Eh? because I just had to. I can't get through like an entire episode at least talking about how fucking ass they are.
That's how grieving
team,
goes, man. I understand.
Yeah, you know what it is. The team for me is the Phoenix Suns.
Okay. Still out west though.
Yeah, but they got to. I listen, bro. And the more and more I think about it, I kind of feel like we're giving KD a pass. Got swept last year. First round, got swept. We ain't say nothing. We ain't say nothing, bro. What if that was Bron
or Steph?
You feel me? Like that's like
the end of the world.
You feel me?
Steph good for give you at least a game.
What? Give me a 50 burger, something like right, or at least show me something like like we ain't lose because of you. You know what I mean? Like, bro, get swept. No, you didn't win 50 games. The roster, you brought back exactly who you wanted to come back, right? Now what happens? You don't make the playoffs. What happens, bro? We talk about Kevin Durant. We put him up there with those guys. We put him up there with the greats, with the all-time best players to ever live and play. And if you don't make the playoffs, bro.
Wait, what are they at right now?
They're like 9th.
Oh, they're 11. They're the 11th seed.
They're 11th, right? So there you go.
They wouldn't even make the play-in tournament right now.
Listen, I love KD, but I can't give him a pass for this season. I can't. They really think about that, bro. We talk about this man like he's one of the greats because he is one of the greatest players we ever seen play.
Yeah.
You can't be averaging 30. You can't be averaging 30 and not making the playoffs, bro. 18 years in, we got to have a conversation. Right?
Yeah. I'm not mad at that.
All right. Long as we're on the same page. I mean, I don't ever want to give my guy an unfair shake. That's one of my favorite players. I love KD. But you got to make the playoffs, brother.
No, I agree for sure.
You got to make the playoffs.
Speaking of KD, right? Perennial All-Star. We just passed the All-Star weekend. The new format. Do we need that major overhaul that we got? What are your thoughts on like the fan interactions, the All-Star weekend, just the whole shebang when it came to the All-Star weekend this year? I'll go first. It was disappointing to me. The dunk contest, it was okay because I was excited with Mac McClung. I thought that winning it for the third time and still being able to be creative, that was impressive to me. And I thought Castle made some pretty athletic dunks too. He was strong with his finishes. But I did think McClung was the rightful winner. But as far as the game, that was terrible. The breaks in between when I was screaming it, when we were watching it, trash. I ended up going to sleep. So honestly, I have no hope for it. They got to make it matter. I would hate to say, make it to where East or West gets home court advantage in the finals or something. Because I feel like that, you can't take that away from the teams who earned those spots. But it got to be something, add some money. I don't know. These guys are rich too. So I don't know. What are your thoughts on it? How can you help it? Or is there no saving it?
First and foremost, stop putting Kevin Hart on live TV.
Oh, man, that was tough this year. I ain't going to lie.
Let's start there. Take Kevin Hart off of live television, first and foremost. Secondly, that was some bullshit. Okay? First and foremost, this is if I was Mac McClung, I would sue the NBA for $100 million.
Why?
Because without him, he should feel, who he should feel like? Right now, Mac McClung is the little Chinese kid or little kid in Vietnam making the Nikes, who's getting paid 60 cents a day and then saves the NBA with the really good Nikes. That's what's happened. There ain't no reason to watch. There is no reason to watch All-Star Weekend for the last 3 years outside of the 45 minutes that Mac McClung was on your fucking TV.
That's a fact, though.
He's not even an NBA player. So here's my thing. You have this brilliant idea of letting a guy who's a professional dunker dunk, but only one guy. Who's thinking of this shit? If you're going to go, don't just go part the way, just go all the way and get real dunkers and people who practice this shit 9 months out the year. Because why? It would matter more to them. It would be more entertaining product to the teams, and it would take all the pressure off the players.
That's true. I think that'd be fire.
You know what I'm saying? Get professionals to do it. That's what you're missing. You're missing excitement from the dunk contest. Why? Because the guy that's won the last 3 years gets to practice fucking dunks for 6 hours a day. And you know what Stephon Castle was doing? He was playing in his fucking rookie season in the NBA. He didn't have time to go practice that dunk over a car 600 fucking times a day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true.
So that's my thing. It's like, just go all the way. As far as the format, oh, Lord Jesus, the NBA's just run out of gimmicks.
Yeah, that was horrible.
It's horrible. So, you know, as far as changing the format, there's really nothing we can do about it, man. There's nothing we can do about it at all. You know? Funny thing about the All-Star game, we saw Draymond bitching about, like, you know, the rising stars shouldn't be playing on Sunday night.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And obviously the rising stars were like, if they were to win, they'd have been like, you know, like the dark horse, the team that, you know, nobody really saw coming out of anywhere, actually doing something in there. And obviously the old dudes put them out the really, really, really quick, right? So let's mirror that to the playoffs in East and West, right?
Mm-hmm.
Any dark horse team you say, and by dark horse I mean a team that just can come out of nowhere and actually do something. Yeah, just a quick, you know, one hitter. Yes, no. Any team.
I got two. I got two. They're both out west. The Golden State Warriors and the Dallas Mavericks with a healthy Anthony Davis, Derek Lively, and Daniel Gafford. The reason I say that is because we've seen the flashes of Dallas when it was only one game with AD, but I thought he was dominant. We saw Kyrie with a dominant big man like that. It was crazy to watch. And then that was without, I believe Gafford was already hurt, or Gafford got hurt in that game. I kind of forgot. I think Gafford got hurt before that. But nevertheless,
I think he got hurt like the next night or later.
Yeah, it was something like that.
Might have been later.
Yeah, we didn't even get to see it with Lively. So to have two lob threats on the court, and then two post players that are great defenders too. That paint is locked down when you got someone like Shea trying to come in there and score and get those contested shots to draw fouls. You got some disciplined big man down there. We rarely see AD get in foul trouble. So when you look at the teams that they have to go through out west, I think AD can impose his will on Chet. He can go back and forth with Joker, even though Joker's gotten the best of him. You know what I'm saying? But who else? Let me look at the West real quick. Memphis, Edie, no chance with a healthy AD. Lakers, no big man, no chance with a healthy AD. I'm not talking about the teams head to head. I'm talking about matchups that Anthony Davis could dominate. The Rockets, that's who he was dominating before he got hurt. The Clippers, him and Zubac, you know, they could bang it out. Pause. Other than that,
he'll smoke out. He'll smoke Zubac. Come on now. AD's right now, like I totally agree with everything you just said, because those teams are right there, because like the East is pretty cut and dry, bro.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It's Boston, Cleveland, and then we can mention two other teams, but that's it.
Facts. Yep.
That's it.
Yes, I think matchup wise, I think Dallas with a healthy AD, even if Gafford and Lively are hurt, I think they'll be a tough out. But you get either one or both of those guys back, it's tough, just matchup wise, because Kyrie can slow the game down. And they can get a great shot every single time down the court. There's not a lot of teams who could say that.
Totally.
So I would love to see that in the playoff series. And then the Warriors, this Jimmy Butler move, they've been beating the shit out of teams. I know it ain't been the best competition, and I know Dallas is shorthanded today, but I'm liking what I'm seeing. It's almost as if, you know how opposites attract. I said that when we last recorded, and they proved me right so far. I think they're going to make the playoffs. And it could be a point where they get past the play-in. Some of those other teams are already coming down. Sacramento, I think, is below Golden State now. Golden State just beat them. I think with Jimmy, we're seeing Draymond play a little bit better too. Steph is back free. They're getting great shots. Jimmy's a smart guy too. Jimmy is with the ISO ball, can get any type of shot that he wants, to be honest, especially with this offense. And he's a great rebounder and facilitator. I think it's a chance for us to still see the best of Jimmy Butler while seeing the best of Steph, and it can kind of get spooky. I'm not saying they'll win the championship, but I do think they'll be a tough out for any team in the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna end up on ice cold takes because I said that the Jimmy Butler move didn't move any meters for me.
You did?
We're also forgetting that they're gonna get Kuminga back.
Kuminga's back in the next 2 games.
Yeah, so that's a formidable mix of players that can stretch the floor, defend, play alongside Steph, and play alongside Steph. It's a nice mix for sure. For sure. It's funny. You brought up Chet. He changed what do you think you think Chet is the biggest, most important piece for OKC outside of SGA or
I never thought he was. I don't know if you remember, but when I spoke on it coming into the season, I said OKC goes as far as J-Dub's ascension. I think he has to be that solid, trustworthy number 2 for them to take him to the next level. Like the 20 points a night, not enough. We need J-Dub at about 25 a night, I feel like. He can rebound and facilitate well, but I think scoring-wise, you have to be able to depend on him on a nightly basis outside of Shea. I mean, I respect Chet. Chet is a great defender, too. He's got two or more blocks in every game since he came back. But my thought process with OKC has always been J-Dub has to take his game to the next level for them to get to the mountaintop. So J-Dub's going to remain my X factor.
Yeah, Chet's it for me. I think that consistency was key for J-Dub. I think he's gotten that. And I think we'll get that in the playoffs. It's just going to be whether or not teams can run gimmick defenses at them the way Dallas did last year. Like, am I going to be able to not guard a guy and say, you shoot the threes and he'll miss them? Because that's what they did. They took the page out of Golden State's book, and they just said, listen, we're going to force the ball out of his hands. And once it leaves Shea's hands, make him pass it to the corner. And I'll live with whomever. Right. Now, they went and got Caruso. I think, bro, honestly, by the time the season ends, I'm going to probably end up picking OKC to win the title.
Okay. You know what's crazy? Sometimes I forget Caruso is even over there. They got that roster is deep. For sure.
And that's my thing. I think that they actually have guys that you can't leave them wide open, bro. If you leave Caruso butt naked open, and he's not missing 5-6 of them, bro. Like last year, that was the thing. I mean, these dudes were just bricking. I mean, like click, clank, 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 clank. It was bad. It was bad. So that's just my only thing. I think that by the end of the season, we might end up being on that shit where it's like, man, like they really could win the whole thing.
Even their bench guys improve. Kaysen or Carson? Kaysen Wallace, Isaiah Joe. You know, they both improved this season. So that roster is deep.
Yep. It's proof that their development is real.
Yep. Speaking on X factors, I want to go out east. Now, we haven't seen this guy in a while, but he did get traded. He was one of the big names that have been hanging around over the last 2 seasons. We thought it would happen, and it didn't. It finally happened this year. We got Brandon Ingram in the 6 with the Raptors. What's your thoughts on them giving him that big contract? Will he be a key piece for them, for the build that they're looking for? And, what do you see his fit going long term with him?
I think it's brilliant. I think it's a brilliant move. I think a lot of people don't really realize that he was put in a situation where he was never, ever his whole career, he never felt like he was loved, if that makes sense. You get traded away by the Lakers. You go to New Orleans. They draft Zion. You immediately get pushed to the back. You're the best player on the team. You're clearly the best player on the team. They offer you an extension and you turn it down because you do not really feel loved. I think that's really what it becomes, bro. It's like you're not giving me anything here. You're not treating me like I'm the guy. I done been through hell and back. Remember, the same shit that happened to Victor happened to him.
Oh, I forget about that with Ingram. You're right.
Same shit happened to him, and he toughed it out and put the city on his back whenever he was out there playing. And they treated him like shit. It was just Zion, Zion, Zion. But this motherfucker was out there giving you 25, 6, and 6 every night. and people just glazed over it. Listen, I'm very happy for Brandon Ingram. I think that they're built out really well future wise. I think that Masai knows what he's doing, and he's going to put this team in position to get a top 3 pick. And if they can get a top 3 pick, this franchise could be right in the mix to contend for positioning in the playoffs immediately next year. So I think it's a good move. I like Brandon Ingram. I think he's a positionless basketball player who can create plays for people naturally and is damn good at his job.
Yeah, we've seen him when he had to create for New Orleans. He did a hell of a job for it, doing it. And he's got the postseason experience too. So I'm not mad at it. I liked it right away too. And I think that lineup is they have length as far as being able to defend and be versatile. So I'm not mad at it at all. Him and Scotty. I don't know what's gonna happen with Quickly or not, but like you said, they get in position to get a good draft pick too. And then that should be not a championship type team, but they'll be a competing team for the next few years.
For sure. And last thing before we get off the NBA, the last thing, right? It seems now that more than ever in our lifetime, especially in this season, we're seeing so many good teams, like teams that look good. Obviously, there's Boston, but then there's like 4 teams in the East. And then out West, it's literally looking like the Hunger Games, right? Yep. Do you think that this is hurting the NBA, the fact that we don't have that dynasty, that dominant dynasty? Or do you think that what we're seeing right now, the actual parity of year-to-year champions is a good thing? Because I didn't hear people complaining about viewership when Steph Curry was winning championships. I didn't hear people complaining about viewership when LeBron James was in the finals every year.
Mm-hmm.
But now that different teams are competing year to year, it looks like it might be hurting the product. Just wanted to hear how you looked at that.
I think maybe the style of play is kind of hurting the product now. I think we get what's the word I want to say? Maybe the volume of threes has kind of tainted the product a bit when it comes to the NBA. But me personally, I think that having so many different champions and no repeats is actually great. It's entertaining because and I'll think about it from a fan's perspective. You go into every year, there's like probably 5 to 8 fan bases who feel like, well, we got a shot, to be there to raise the trophy at the end of the season. I think it's better that way. You look at the NFL, the viewership of the NFL is always going to be great because the NFL is king when it comes to American sports. But people get tired of seeing Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. We see unnecessary hate now.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you lost.
I have no idea what you're talking about, bro. See, that sounds made up.
2 of those 3 Super Bowls, I'm sure. But yeah, you'll see every game for the Chiefs now is under that microscope because people want to look for a reason to hate on them, or they're not going to win because of this and that, because they're tired of seeing the dominance. I don't think dominance is respected in sports these days because there's so much hate in the world. And I could talk about that type of stuff, on and on and on. But I feel like for the NBA, having a lot of great teams is a much better product for me instead of going into like next year. I think the Chiefs going to be right back in the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? So
could very well
the NBA, we don't know. We know Boston is like, okay, they're on the mountaintop and we can see them doing it again. But we could talk about 2 to 3, maybe 4 teams who we can see. All right, I think they can beat Boston in the series. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's a little bit different.
Absolutely, bro.